Think about the first few weeks of any class, or even your morning commute. Pretty quickly, you pick a seat or a specific route to work, and you lock into a physical routine. From an evolutionary standpoint, this drive for comfort makes sense. If you survived sitting in that specific spot yesterday without getting attacked by a predator, your nervous system logs it as safe. Repeating familiar patterns is a built-in survival mechanism. This same survival instinct influences how we approach education. When a task feels difficult or triggers frustration, our nervous system registers that friction as a sign of danger or failure. We are evolutionarily primed to avoid the very discomfort required to learn. Modern learning systems often lean into this bias by removing as much friction as possible. We prioritize the quickest, smoothest ways to absorb information, which inadvertently starves the brain of the precise triggers it needs to grow. Cognitive researchers refer to the counterintuitive biological reality of memory as desirable difficulties. It turns out the brain requires agitation to encode new information. That spike of irritation you feel when you can't quite grasp a concept is the biological marker that your brain is entering the optimal state for memory formation. Cognitive mastery requires the deliberate confrontation of mental obstacles. The process begins when you encounter a knowledge gap, the psychologically uncomfortable space between what you currently know and what you are trying to achieve. As you struggle to close that gap, your brain interprets the effort and responds by releasing a flood of catecholamines, specifically epinephrine and norepinephrine. This shifts the chemical environment, allowing synaptic gaps to physically widen and forge new connecting branches. That intense emotional urge to throw your hands up and quit is the physical sensation of neuroplasticity occurring in real time. You can see this mechanism at work in moments of public embarrassment, like standing on stage in a school play and completely flubbing your lines in front of an audience. The spike of autonomic arousal causes the amygdala to tag the moment with a severe emotional valence. This intense emotional tagging mechanism overrides normal memory processing, searing the corrected information into the brain permanently. Making a highly visible, uncomfortable mistake builds more resilient memories than getting the answer right on the first try. As we age, we often try to preserve our memory by turning to familiar mental exercises, like a daily crossword puzzle. While these tasks maintain existing verbal knowledge, they fail to trigger actual neurogenesis. You are merely strengthening an existing strength rather than building new neural pathways. Relying exclusively on routine leads to memory interference. Without the violation of our daily habits, the brain reaches a state of cognitive stagnation. Leveraging neuroplasticity requires metacognition, the ability to recognize and categorize your own autonomic arousal while you work. When an expert learner encounters difficulty, they reframe the internal signal. Instead of seeing frustration as a reason to quit, they recognize that their brain is producing the epinephrine required to learn. This shift allows experts to maintain a beginner's mind. They can remove their ego and embrace the struggle of a new domain, even if they are highly successful elsewhere. Successful lifelong learning depends on a positive relationship with the physical sensation of frustration, regardless of baseline intelligence. Long-term cognitive health requires a deliberate balance between maintaining what you know and actively seeking out novel, unsupervised environments. You can inject micro-frictions into your daily life by intentionally sitting in different seats, taking complex new routes, or navigating completely unfamiliar physical spaces. These physical violations of routine serve as a catalyst, keeping the brain structurally plastic as it adapts to new stimuli. To keep the mind sharp indefinitely, we have to abandon the pursuit of ease and consciously choose to make life a little bit harder.